and a Poppy.
Thank you, sir. Good. Well, with that said, we have a Game 1 draft. Hooray! And here we go. Wings Gaming versus NP again, folks. This is upper bracket, no elimination here. The winner of this is guaranteed a spot in the winner bracket finals, which is not a bad place to be at the end of day number 1. Slackaroo?
That's pretty hype, man. These guys are going to the winners final. And of course, if you want to get there, you got to ban out Naga first.
Yeah,
As
like I
told
said,
you,
yeah.
Grant.
That's what I said.
You're a piece of garbage.
No, Naga. I maybe if they win game 1, I feel game 2 could be where it comes out.
Okay.
Luna banned by NP. They are. That kind of goes back to what actually Slack did say. They just pick whatever. You don't see first ban Luna ever. But you're going versus Wings.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing that they're scared of the most.
Well, they did take that Luna Warlock opener, right? So they're not afraid to run Luna without the Shadow Demon. So not only does this eliminate the Luna Shadow Demon,
whoa.
Hey!
Okay, so right away, these are two heroes we
heard us.
We have not seen picked or banned yet in this tournament, Witch Doctor or Invoker. It's only day 1, but still, this is the classic. This is the Wings special. Let's just sort by which heroes haven't been picked. Let's roll the dice and see if we can make it work. I like this.
Long range stun from Witch Doctor. He's good in lane. He's good nearly all over the place.
Yep.
And Warlock, maybe they have a super secret against Warlock thing, because he's been first picked every game in the NA games, it feels, right?
I mean, we've seen OD be probably one of the most effective counters against the Warlock because he just kills the Golem so fast. It's really disgusting. And of course, Wings could have picked it, but instead they opt for something different now. Ogre Magi.
Yeah, really interesting stuff here. I mean, the Invoker, we talked about having to be punished, right? One of the ways to try and avoid that punishment would be to go into some sort of an aggro tri formation, try and draw everyone down into like the opposite lane away from your mid laner to open it up to a 1v1 scenario. And Witch Doctor is one of the best supports of the game, if not the best, like him, Dazzle, Ogre.
I'm still curious why pick the Invoker so early here. You know, if you want this hero, you can grab it. There's very low chance he's going to be banned in the second stage, and it's a counterable hero. It's one that you can shut down with, you know, certain heroes like Ogre, for example. Rotate mid, that's not something Invoker really wants to play with early on. It feels almost unnecessarily risky here.
Yeah, but we've seen shutting down Invokers even against NP. Internal Envy's 0-8, and they still have AoE free farming, and then, I mean, eventually he gets his Midas, and they win. I mean, they just win.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's easy to shut him down, but it's hard to shut. I mean, if you put too much on the Invoker, you're going to lose too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's easy to shut him down, but it ain't easy to shut him up.
I know, those voice lines, man. Over the abyss, unintelligible abyss, whatever he says.
I have no clue where we're at right now.
623 just facepalm. You're a guest on this panel, all right? You need to
have some respect.
Have some respect.
Respect your elders, boy.
Damn you.
Slardar
banned now, and Slardar banned out. Yep. So, kind of curious what MSS is going to play this game. We had a
it has to be Playmaker.
disagreement here.
It has to be. It has to be. If he's not a Playmaker hero, they stand very little chance.
I mean, I think Beastmaster is not a bad.
I think he's in the middle there. He's like can be a Playmaker. You get that book 2-3, get some solo kills.
Then we're both right. Oh.
Okay. Well, good ban from Wings.
Yep. Just genius.
Simply phenomenal.
I think it is. I mean, I really do. You have to ban out.
I'd call that a bar down ban.
Very smart.
As us Canucks say.
Oh, what does that mean?
Bar down.
Yeah.
Playing hockey.
What?
Goes off the crossbar and down and in. Bar down.
We don't get
I'm educating you guys.
That's a bar down, you hope.
Oh yeah, that's a real one-timer.
Hey!
What's a one-timer?
You're goaltending me, Zylor.
I'm
You're offside.
I'm looking touchdown.
That's icing, Grant.
Now that's a hole-in-one pick right there, guys.
I do like the Drow Ranger 4th ban, though. It's something that we've seen Wings is not afraid to pick up, even later on in a draft. Invoker Witch Doctor could the beginning of the scary Drow draft, but now they take another left turn. It's the Spirit Breaker.
And we've seen NP actually play this hero today, and now Wings is like, we'll show you how it's really done.
I mean, we saw NP play it more than once, right?
Twice, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, game 2 and game 3 against Adfinum.
Yep, so they lost 1-1, and I mean, it does, I think, like what Mopac said last time, it's insanely good versus Magic community, which is huge lately. Just charge goes through, his ult goes through, great.
That combos nicely with the Sunstrike too, so a lot of global presence now coming out here. Could go for something additional as well. Worth noting that Io's still in the pool, but of course, unless we're going to some sort of a weird Navi-style general Spirit Breaker, I don't think we'll end up getting core Spirit Breaker, but it's not completely out of the question.
It's not good, is it? It just, it has no comeback mechanism.
It's Wings.
You could get a Midas and then hope, yeah, but even for them, if you just die
even
once,
for them.
even
That's
for
how you
them,
know Navi
yeah.
we're awful when they were doing things that when you bring it up for wings, you go, I don't think so.
you literally die once and you just fall behind and lose the game. That's the problem with Spear Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a couple of good early kills, you can get a Midas, you can transition into like Shadow Blade and stuff, but it's tricky. It's unnecessarily one-dimensional.
Yeah, there we see.
And we'll see, I guess then if we get some of Spearbreaker's buddies then, like, is our Darkseer still in right now?
He is.
I think so.
He is.
Yeah,
Kind of
Darkseer
a
makes
classic.
Gangster.
all the way in.
Oh,
Now
Weaver.
for Wings.
Yep.
Okay, they have been playing this quite a bit
They
recently.
have, I think, a lot of the Chinese scene
On the
has.
one. And for NP, this is a Vengeful Spirit, and are we feeling pretty likely here that this is the one Venge, AUI 2000 on the
It has to
Benji?
be with Warlock, unless it's a middle Warlock, which I don't think EE would play. It is most likely the core Venge.
That does not sound like an EE hero to me.
It does not. What does?
Terrorblade, baby.
Yeah. What are you hoping to see here for
Well,
EE?
Well, definitely terribly now. It combos well with Void, and he plays it a lot mid. He,
You're right.
I'll-
No. Yeah, go ahead.
It works with Avenge, and when they push, like the extra damage is just really well with the wait,
So-
not with the illusion.
This kid's got more MMR than you do, Slacks.
Yeah, the only problem with that is like when your cooldowns are off, like Metamorphosis, then he doesn't combo with the Void at all.
Oh yeah, that's
so you
when
have
they
to fight
fall
around
behind.
that. Yeah, that's the problem.
Teams like EG punish that, and I think Wings could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Faceless Void. Why pick that up here? Is that just a hard against the Weaver? I
Well,
mean, he's pretty.
You know, you pick
Caught out
Warlock,
with that.
generally speaking, you're going to combo it with Team Fight. It's definitely a comfort hero for MSS, something he's played a lot of.
Time
And he can-
dilation
he
is
can carry on.
exceptionally good
And he
against
can carry
Weaver.
on,
Yeah, that's true. He can scale well, and time dilation is really incredible. here.
And Invoker too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
all
adds
the-
a ton of
honestly,
value.
all these heroes, time dilation is pretty good against.
No,
And
Yep, go ahead. It
I
wasn't
was just gonna say he could get Bloodlusted. I mean, even with very little items, Bloodlust on Faceless Void makes him a one-man wrecking machine with no items.
Yeah.
You can build a Vlad's
plus
too.
Venge
No.
Screen, plus his Vlads, you're
Yeah.
actually killing
I
people
like
in
it.
Chrono.
Yeah.
So that's why the DB ban comes out here too, because that could have been just a great group up hero. The Razor's still there, and honestly, it could still go for that kind of scenario. But then you have Razor into Weaver, which is tough.
Yeah, this actually looks NP's. This looks like when they played versus Infamous. Actually, the DP. It's almost like Wings knew that because Infamous had Faceless Void, Vengeful, and DP. I
really?
doubt they looked that far back, but they could have. Infamous, one of the few teams to take games off NP lately.
It's a really good ban here. And if you have a mid that does a lot of damage, but is also very sustainable, like Death Prophet, that can be pretty hard to deal with when you're talking about huge control. You've got two heroes with spammable stuns, and then the Golem and Chrono.
What if they do that's VP who runs Little on Weaver, right?
Yes.
And support.
With
What if they do that?
Usually with a Drow though.
They won't, but what if they do? But they won't.
But they won't.
Very, very unlikely,
if they
but
do?
you're right.
they
Oh,
Okay.
Medusa!
Same idea as the DP though. That group up style, like
Very sustainable, great 5-man. I think Medusa incredible in the mid roll too. She gets that experience. Level 7 or level 4 Snake at 7 is disgusting damage. Slacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the mid lane with Snake. Nobody getting away from that thing.
don't have the best diffusal heroes. I mean, Weaver generally does kind of buy one, but again, it's not it's not exactly
The
the
problem
same.
is you'd rather have a Death Zone, so if you skip Death Zone,
he will need
Diffusal,
one
yeah,
anyway though because of
exactly.
the time dilation.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
he'll probably end up going
Assassin.
diffusal.
I like the Medusa pick actually a lot.
Yep, it's
I
very
think
strong.
it brings together their fight. Like they're never gonna look for a fight. I don't think NP they want to get gone on. That's the biggest thing with Medusa. You want people to go on you. If you get your ult off, they can't fight into you.
And they banned
And
the
then you have
Beastmaster,
Chrono,
too.
Warlock. Yeah.
So final pick here, you either need a Necro Book carrier or you need a Diffusal
Yeah,
carrier.
like you said, Beastmaster's gone.
Yeah,
Great
And
ban.
they just banned the Nyx as well.
So what
wow.
does that leave us with though? What,
And
what's
they have the
dream
Void.
pick?
I don't know. It's tough.
This might be
This-
a random hero. They just pick a hero and set. I mean, because you can Iron Town. Like we actually saw FDL. They jungled Alina in the offlane.
Yeah.
Like you can do anything. They might just do a natural diffusal carrier in the offlane.
Call
Or
it.
offlane AM.
Let's do it. 623. This
Just
is your
kidding.
moment of glory.
Call
You're
it.
on the panel. Call it. You'll be a god for life.
Meepo.
It's me.
643. If it's Meepo, I'm a flip. I'm a flip, boy.
I think. I guess is Sand King still in?
I think
it's not
so.
that good here versus Chrono.
I mean, neither's Axe, but I feel
Axe
like,
isn't as bad though. At least you have some lockdown per se. Like Axe can get more than. Hey, you're right.
I
don't
feel
know.
like he won't even do enough damage though, and then
Yeah.
there's still the golems and
That's
stuff.
the thing. Yeah.
Am I an idiot? But is Anti-Mage that bad here?
You'd have to run it,
Offlane Weaver, I suppose.
Or
you could do an aggro. I would like to see it, but I don't think there's room for it.
No.
There's not room. I mean, Invoker, Weaver all need to find farm somewhere, and then if you have an AM, they won't. AM makes the map into one,
Yes.
and he farms the one.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
that is a very elegant way to describe the anti-mage.
Look at all those gorgeous players, just ready to play.
For some reason, I keep wanting to say Ancient Apparition. I'm thinking of heroes, my brain is saying AA. It doesn't make
maybe
any
you're
sense.
thinking global.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it's a way to
No, it
kill
definitely
Medusa.
doesn't make any sense.
No,
Chris.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't know,
awful,
but
You've lost your goddamn mind. Shut up, Cyber.
Just get ready for it. You got 8 seconds, Slacks.
It's Meepo or AA. We're
Come on, Meepo.
It's Coddle.
What?
So it is an
Core
off-lane
SB?
Spear Breaker.
That makes a little bit of sense. He's got a little bit of mana leak against Medusa, pretty good against Faceless Void as well if you're not caught in. You can
Where does he
blinding
lane? Like
The jungle.
on a Spear Breaker, his base attack time is terrible, even with an Iron
I'm
Talon.
talking the Coddle.
Oh,
Coddle
we're talking
jungle.
about Spear Breaker
Yeah,
because he's the off-laner.
Ah.
I mean, that's rough. You have to aggro into that lineup
Yeah.
as wings, but I guess he can't even.
Alright.
Well, he can kind of solo up against the Faceless Void. It won't be awful.
He's
but
never lost the lane. I've heard many
deal.
people say Faith Beyond is a god.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go quick round of predictions.
Sure.
Slacks, game 1, who you taking?
I'm going to go with MP. I think they got a strong lineup.
I'm going to go NP as well. I don't believe in the Coddle.
taking wings, core Spirit Breaker. They're gonna show the world it is okay.
I think NP has better draft, but I'm just going with wings because they are wings.
Okay.
Core Spirit Breaker will fall behind. There's no way.
My boy. MP.
All right.
That was my line. He stole it.
All right, and with that, we are going to hand it over to our casters for game number 1. We've got Annie once again, this time joined by Purge.
All right, thanks, Sayori. Very excited for the series here. Again, we are in upper bracket, so no one's in danger of elimination, but going to be a great series nonetheless. What are your thoughts about these drafts, Purge?
I really like what NP has. Their tri-lane's really solid. It forced Wings to actually take Caudle as their last pick, forcing themselves to have their either aggro try or force an offlane Spirit Breaker, and that's not really what they want to do. And I feel like this is one of the first times Wings has actually been on the wrong foot for their draft.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the Spirit Breaker plays out against Faith Beyond, one of the strongest offlaners in the scene right now, perhaps ever. But he is definitely going an uphill battle here. Not the easiest hero to spiral out of control with, so.
Yeah, it takes a lot of proper coordination with your allies, and they do have some good damage sources. I think the Invoker helps that out a lot, because you're going to be putting Sunstrike on top of wherever his ganks come, but he still does have to get to level 6. And then you have to set up a lot of ganks that MP's not prepared for. And a lot of the heroes are very difficult to gank, especially Faces Void as well as Medusa. So I think the big pressure target is going to be on the two semi-tanky supports from NP or their carry.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of global presence for Wings. Once they get to a decent amount of levels, Caudle can obviously call you into fun situations, Spirit Breaker, charging about, and like you talked about, the Sunstrike. I'm looking forward to seeing this Witch Doctor perform. I've seen Witch Doctors just be absolute ballers. I've seen them fall real flat, but in the hands of Wings, I think this is going to be a awesome support.
Yeah, it definitely can be. Kashka's really good this game. NP don't have summons that they can use. Once they get a Manta style and Void, maybe they'll be more covered, but a little bit of voice communication problems for NP, the team that, well, their team name could be No Pauses, but that's definitely not accurate, because they pause all the time.
Don't think that's really it.
They're the team of pauses, really. Maybe there's like a word that means always pauses that starts with an N, perhaps. That would make things a whole lot more sense. But just interesting to see the warding so far. Wings ended up putting a ward down mid. They ended up putting a really deep ward in the jungle to spot the support rotations from NP. So looks like they are going to try to keep track of where the supports are going to be this game.
Yeah, what are your predictions for this game? Wings versus NP. It's a best of 3 series, so we're back to being able to experiment a little bit. The pressure of the best of ones is over for now.
But the whole series, it's hard to say. I mean, Wings did say that they're scared of NP. That was Innocence, at least. So, and I think NP has been playing really coordinated lately. Their drafting here, I think, is amazing. I love the Bloodlust with the 3 cores. They have Venge with that movement speed and attack speed. Faces Void with the same thing is a huge advantage, and Medusa on top of that. So if they just keep Medusa semi-survivable, and she's always the one that Wings has to go on, then it's going to be really straightforward fights every time, honestly. That's a big advantage they have. Can they swing from the side and approach with the right heroes? I'm not so sure. The heroes that they can do that with are Weaver, Spirit Breaker, or Invoker, or maybe a full wraparound with supports as well. It just doesn't feel that strong to me. I feel like the team fight that NP has should be able to overpower that. So maybe at some point it'll just turn into split push. And I think that's kind of the way that Wings has to go. The Caudle pick is kind of good for that. It was mostly picked, at least from my perspective, because of the mana leak reasons. They don't have a good solution to Medusa, but it also means that Invoker, great at split pushing with Boots of Travel, Forge Spirit's Alacrity. Weaver can kind of accomplish that as well. And maybe Spirit Breaker as well. Not the best at killing creeps, but he kind of has a global presence. So maybe if they can keep pulling heroes around the map and deal with NP's strong team fight, at least from a split push potential, that could be what they need. So that tool is there, and that tool can be very strong. they just gank AOI like 85 times, I think they'll win. Like that's, although MSS could carry with Bloodlust, so it's hard to say, but I think Wings has some tools. We'll see if they're able to execute it, and usually they can.
Yeah, like you mentioned, NP has a much more straightforward strategy. Wings are going to be having to work around a little bit, read the game a little bit more. What are you thinking about in terms of overall lanes? Because we are going to have a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah, like they said, with the Coddle pick, it forces Spirit Breaker in the off lane. It's definitely something MP would love to shut down. Usually when you're zoned out of the off lane, what you do instead is you start ganking mid, ideally. And that's going to be up against a DOTA, so that'll start forcing NP to rotate to the mid lane to defend. Which is part of the reason that I believe Wings did want to get wards in places where they'll spot those rotations, either in the Radiant jungle or in a place where you can spot the heroes sitting nearby on the mid lane. So they don't really have the best defensive supports, obviously. Warlock is good at dealing with ganks, but kind of. Ogre, a little bit, not amazing, but a little bit of Bloodlust, a little bit of heal. That can turn things around, especially if Spirit Breaker already has really weak levels.
Yeah, now one thing I'm curious about here, I've seen Witch Doctor played in a couple of different ways. What build do you think we're going to see? Is it going to be that max Voodoo, no Maledict? Is it going to be max Maledict, no Voodoo? Because there's some big back and forths.
Max Voodoo, there's no way this game, just because that's more of a push strategy thing that's pretty out of fashion right now, I'd say. Some Witch Doctors do go for like 1 in Maledict, for example, with the max cask. I think that's definitely the build they have to go for, because there's so many heroes that are difficult to kill on the enemy team, and if they do get a good cask, it could give Wings the team fight advantage that they need, because really, 1 cask bouncing between 2 heroes, that's equivalent to a Chronosphere, and it actually does damage, so that part's pretty cool. There's a lot of good value like that they can have. Lockdown people, maybe... There's so much on the back, really, of the Spirit Breaker ulti combo and the Witch Doctor cask, really. That's the 2 skills they have to lock people down outside of Mana Leak. And killing heroes like Faceless Void is so difficult without that. So maybe Necro 3 Invoker build? Is that too out of fashion? I haven't seen them forever, but it used to be a huge staple of Exhort and Invoker. Every game they would buy Necro 3. It's a pretty good game for it, honestly.
Especially if they are kind of cornered into that kind of push lineup. Now we're going to be going ahead. The pause is over. We have fixed all the tech issues, so let's go back in and check out some Dota 2. There we go. I'm really looking forward to, I hope at some point in this game, we get Spirit Breaker Void just 1v1ing, and I want like Eternal Dash Lock going.
That would be pretty cool. It's not the best advantage for Spirit Breaker, though, because he has a very bad BAT, or base attack speed, so extra attack speed he gets doesn't affect him as much as does Void, and he's going to have to deal with things like Bloodlust and overall more farm, so going to be tough for him to win that one, but he is the key that Wings needs to be able to abuse kills.
I mean, is he going to be spending most of his early game in the bottom lane? Is he going to be trying to rotate and gank Medusa before she really has a bunch of levels up in that mana shield? Is he going to be just trying to harass the hell out of this Warlock?
Yeah, getting levels is really important for him, and the problem is that he's against 2 really strong supports and a strong carry for zoning, so him getting experience, I just don't see much of it happening, but he was able to do it earlier against FDL with his armor levels. He's actually picked up a level 1 Bash here, which is good and bad. It will potentially let him zone 1437 and deal with 2 of the, this is a battle of 2 super high base strength heroes, but now he has to get level 2 before he can even gank. So he's kind of put himself in a little bit of a bad spot just by grabbing that, but maybe it'll allow him to get level 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be forced back too heavily just yet. Of course, Benj doesn't really have the tools to keep him back to threaten ganks, but 1437 just doing his best to be that big beefy ogre that we know and love, and of all heroes, Spirit Breaker's probably one of the heroes that can trade most evenly with him.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of the highest. Oh, the stun though.
Stun coming in, AUI looking to chase this down, but doesn't have any other levels, of course. Yeah. Absolutely no swap at 1.5 minutes in the game, so no lockdown just yet, but that is going to be Spirit Breaker now fighting for his life.
Yeah, he had a Fairy Fire anyway, so he was probably going to be okay, but next issue is Spirit Breaker's base HP is so high that a salve doesn't even fully heal the guy, so that's a little tough too. He's going to try to get his level 2. In the mid lane, things are going decent for both. 3 last hits for Medusa, 5 for the Invoker, 3 denies out of Blink though, and he's gone for a really fast Alacrity, a nice advantage for him considering that Dusa doesn't really get great base damage until a couple levels in.
Yeah, so in terms of overall right-clicking, pretty even. There's going to be a little charge into the river trying to go for that rune, but Spirit Breaker is successful in that. Picks up a haste, so he can just kind of keep bopping up 1437. And there we go. Nice little bash. Warlock's coming in, gets the Shadow Ward off to try to help with that heal. These Wild Wings are causing some distractions. Now another charge coming back in. Magic Missile from AUI.
Are
First
you serious?
blood. Meanwhile, Medusa scores a kill onto Blink in the mid. So Spirit Breaker, it's all an elaborate ruse.
That is incredible that Envy was able to kill him. There must have been a bounce off of a creep that he didn't expect there, because he's like full HP right now. What an amazing solo kill. He's got to feel good for that one. Although Invoker didn't have boots yet, and he also didn't have any quas levels, so maybe he just got chased down.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely have just been focused right there, but definitely going to benefit NP right now, starting things off by getting that strong Medusa.
Yeah. Hey, you see this ward on the mid lane?
Yeah.
That's a Gem TD ward.
Thanks, Burge.
No problem.
Down in the bottom lane, things are looking pretty good for NP. Decent farm going the way of AUI, going to be second on the last hit chart. Weaver definitely scoring in some good creeps, but it's going to take a little bit longer for Weaver to get online and feel like he can fight. Is this going to be an absolute mandatory Linken's game, or can he change it up?
Yeah, Linken's is a pretty good item this game based on swap and the Venge Stun, stuff like that, but I'm also a little worried for their damage, really, just especially because they were forced to go for Coddle support. Maybe not forced, but that was their choice, obviously. With Weaver being the core, I mean, we've been seeing it get picked a lot in elimination mode. It just doesn't farm as fast as other carries, and it also falls off faster if things don't go well. He's got to get kills. That's really where the hero gets strong.
Yeah, MSS, he's dealt with that mana leak a little bit, of course, not as annoying as it used to be when the mana cost is increased, but it's still a little bit annoying for Void to deal with, because he wants to time walk, but then just it gobbles up all his mana.
Yeah, but it's better than getting killed, obviously. Don't let Weaver get kills. He will be weak on farming in the long run, unless he gets good team fights in the early game, and that's what he's great for.
Wrapping around towards the bottom lane, we're going to have a stun in on the Spirit Breaker. Of course, Faithleon can just kind of book it away if things get hairy here. He's taking a lot of damage.
Be really close. I think he's got it.
And meanwhile, mid lane, Invoker killed again, as this Medusa snakes are just bouncing every which way. They're now trying to focus down, get some return kill, as Ice has rotated it in. Nice little mana leak there. Of course, mana burn is so high value against Medusa, but Ice eats up the fairy fire. He's double damaged. He's trying to salve. Looks like he will be okay, as Ogre still has a 5-second cooldown on that fire blast.
Get smarter, Ogre.
Oh, there we go. One more bop. Hey, there we go.
Just in time. The Windlay's absolutely making the difference there, getting the kill against the ultra-fast Coddle. Huge game so far for NP, getting 3 kills here. They barely kept the Spirit Breaker alive. He had about 16 HP left over there in that engagement.
I mean, Deuce is just raking it in right now. Usually in Invoker versus Deuce lane, you expect to be a little bit passive, at least for the first couple of levels, but, I mean, snakes.
Snakes are pretty intimidating, and it's actually quite good against Invoker. He has so much intelligence that the amount of mana that is stolen from Invoker when the snake hits is huge, so it allows you to throw more snakes and stay alive. So very difficult for Wings, and I already pointed out the fact that they have damage problems. That's why Medusa is again so good, because she's so hard to kill. She doesn't take too much damage, so as long as Wings has some damage problems, it's going to make Medusa even better for the rest of the game.
Got a charge down here. Witch Doctor pops in the Maledict, the Sunstrike as well. If they can't get this kill, I don't know how they're going to get kills around the map, but second tick of Maledict will finish it off, so nice little kill going the way of our Witch Doctor. Now, our Invoker has picked up some raindrops, always a great item to have when you're up against such crazy damage. Avenge. She's able to avenge her teammate there, picks up the kill on the Spirit Breaker. Is this what you expect from the Spirit Breaker, or is he having a much tougher lane than he anticipated?
He's definitely having a tougher lane than normal. That's pretty safe to say. But like normally you'd expect a dual lane at least, something like that, to give him more space in the lane so that he can pick up the fast levels. But just the tri-lane for NP is so strong. It's taking 3 heroes that are normally supports and fitting one into a carry role. Revenge, one of the few heroes that can actually do that very easily. So that's the advantage they're abusing.
Alright, looks like Witch Doctor could be in a little bit of trouble here, just going for the bailout. And, well, he should be able to get home safely. There was a TP out in the top lane as Void got really, really low, but Wings unable to find a kill there. How important is it for Wings to have a strong early game? Can they just kind of sit back, accept that they've lost the early game, and bounce back towards the mid lane, or is it...
It's tough to do that. I mean, they've got great counter split push with the Spirit Breaker, but I just don't see them out farming NP. There's just no way in the ultra late game unless they are gods of split push. I think they can try to abuse that, but I just feel like Venge with Bloodlust, Void with Bloodlust, Medusa with Bloodlust, all those heroes are going to farm way faster than they normally do. It's not just about the attack speed, it's also the movement speed. So Bloodlust is going to accelerate them heavily in that way.
Yeah, Faithleon doing what he can to soak in the levels here.
Swap this.
Oh yeah, they're definitely looking for something. He's level 5, and they can kill him before his crucial level 6. He tries his charge away, so now he's got no more escape tools. He's just sitting there and taking it from the Venge. And that's going to be a Warlock scoring another kill there. Very well played from NP.
And I'm just looking at this game and wondering how different it would have been if they just gave up on the Coddle idea and grabbed a different offlaner. But that's the issue. That's why the draft was so smart from NP, because it did force Wings into either getting a mana drain solution or another damage solution. They went for mana drain, and now they've got an SB in the off lane.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, do you just bail and give the lane to Venge and have the SB continually gank mid or top? Because he's just not getting a whole lot done there, and feeding the Venge is not what you want to do.
But again, that's the issue. Here comes, they're going to find the lane. This is a good choice.
Now they're coming in, but they've got the Ogre there to keep things going. Warlock does not have his ulti, so if anything is good for Wings, now is the time to strike. And they are able to get the kill on AUI right before the TP gets out. 1437 might not be as unlucky there. He does get home, but very important kill there on the Venge, keeping Wings on the board.
Yeah, that was such a smart way to do it as well, because ganking the mid lane is so difficult because Medusa's there. Instead, they just gank the one hero on NP that is a core, that doesn't have a good escape once they're in trouble. And I believe her swap was still on cooldown because she used it earlier to kill the SB, so that was a huge kill.
Faith Beyond just kind of galloping on through, wanting to focus down this Void up top. What's their kill chance there?
It's pretty low, that's for sure.
SVG though, oh, he's going to walk right through the Sunstrike. Not going to take damage from it, unfortunately, just a little bit outside. But one more smack from the Weaver will be enough. Definitely punishing that Warlock for going back into the lane.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Weaver has to do. If he just sits and farms, he'll get out-farmed. Instead, get active. You're invisible, you've got a really low cooldown ultimate. It's very difficult for your opponents to kill you, at least until they get a bit more damage. Like Warlock is, it's damage over time, most of Warlock's damage, so time-lapse completely counters that. Makes
rotation in is a charge on EE. Can they actually get him down in time? Okay, there we go. EE just getting bashed up. Oh, almost lives, but one more smack from Faith Beyond will secure the kill.
That was very bizarre. He turned off his shield there because he wanted to make sure he had mana.
Swap in. They want to try to get something for their trouble here. Nice little blinding light. Ice trying to keep his friends safe. They are able to get the stun off. There's going to be another charge on AUI, and it looks like this Venge could be in trouble once again. They bring in the Weaver for more damage, and can they get him down? Ogre tries to go for the Bloodlust and save, but it's not enough. In fact, Ogre may lose his life as well. This is huge for Wings. All of a sudden, 3 heroes dead in the mid lane. Wings are doing it, man.
Man, NP just making a little bit of mistakes, but the gank finding of their offlane player, the SB, is changing everything. Medusa turned off his spell shield because he wanted to ensure he had mana to cast ult. That was the only way he felt he survived, but after watching it, if he just left spell shield on, I think he actually just survived that gank in the first place. So he probably expected a bigger show of force though, maybe 3 or 4 heroes.
A little bit of a deep dive there. Faith Beyond decides better of going under the tier 1 tower. We haven't heard a whole lot from our Void yet. NP, they're just keeping MSS quietly farming up in that off lane. He's doing his best. Is this where the Void needs to be right now, or should he be trying to rotate with his team and look for those Chronos?
Some rotations are great, especially once you hit 6. The moment you hit 6, you should get active on the game, but the problem is he's been moderately zoned by the Coddle, so despite Faith Beyond dying this many times, he's arguably doing better than MSS in terms of game impact, because if the game just kept going static the way it was, NP was going to get completely out of control, but the fact that their carry has rotated and got kills, and NP's tried that but not been successful, it gives Wings a really big advantage. They've got to do a Chrono setup. That's how they get kills, and Weaver is the best hero to Chronos here, since he's all about casting spells.
Yeah, Weaver's been nice and slippery here, definitely just working on those items, and well, he's had a pretty successful lane. Started out a little bit rough, but I mean, look at this damage able to be dished out already. The Dragon Lance picked before any Lincoln Sphere components. I do like this. Yeah,
it's very early game, and the other cool thing is that he's a safe lane carry, and he also bought a bottle. So bottle and the Aquila to make up for the fact that he doesn't normally have Perseverance where he would. So Dragon Lance just very strong stats, gives him really good early engagement, and he's used that very effectively since the start of the game.
Definitely thinking ahead there. Looks like Radiant's going to use Scan to figure out who's behind this tier 1. It's not going to be a free push. That's the information they get from this, and Faith Beyond shows himself just going to be stamina illuminates from the Coddle, trying to keep back NP, and of course Wings do have that really nice ward in the Radiant jungle, scouting out the movement of the supports.
Yeah, that was very helpful there. Made it pretty clear that they're not going to go for AOI with that, despite having Coddle in the area. They could have had a TP, Sunstrike, something like that with the Spirit Breaker ults. Ooh, double Force Ghost, pretty good pickup here.
Yeah, it looks like things might be going down mid as Wings. They've got their supports in the area waiting on that high ground in case Medusa gets cocky, and there is going to be a smoked up group of NP heroes. Again, they do have the Chronosphere ready to unleash, the Stone Gaze as well to follow up. There's counter smoke coming out from Wings. They might just wrap around, play Ring Around the Rosie here near the mid lane, and no one's really going to find what they're looking for.
Yeah, they're aiming for the Ogre, who's currently defending the safe lane, getting some free experience to catch up, but even if he dies here, I don't think it's that bad for their team. He's just got to stun the SB. No, he's going to go for the movement speed, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I think he knows it's about to get real here. Medusa's actually TPing in bottom, and she just let her ult go here. She's going to drop the snake, but she's burning right now. Going to be taking an ult from the Witch Doctor. She's getting real low here. Unfortunately, going to be going down. Tries her ulti before she goes out, so that cooldown is now no longer available when she spawns.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel like Envy should have just let the Ogre die there. I guess they felt possibly comfortable in fighting just because Warlock was in the area too, but now they've spent tons of time not getting an initiation into the game. Like it's 12 minutes now, we still haven't seen a Chronosphere. I feel like the Void has accomplished almost nothing this game, on top of the fact that he was fairly zoned and didn't get a ton of farm in the meantime anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Void, one of those offlaners that can stay relevant really, really late in the game, so it's not like he's just completely tapped out, he hasn't fizzled, but it's definitely hard for NP right now. They're sitting at a kill disadvantage. They need to get their dues of fat, they need to get their venge fat, and they need to start taking towers.
Yeah, the tri lane was going so well, but the rotations from Wings were just unpredictable enough, and NP reacted to them weak enough that it put them in this position. Kind of a cool skill build from Shadows while maxing out his bugs. Long, lower interval, I believe. Lots of damage with that. Yep, faster attack frequency. Same duration though. Lower cooldown. It can be pretty nice. Very useful for Roche actually. Can lower his armor by a huge amount. But they still want to take a fight. They're expecting the Chronosphere.
Hey, I think they just really want to keep NP occupied for as long as possible right now. Wings know that NP is really intent on trying to set up that Chronosphere, and while they're sticking all together, they're not getting a whole lot of experience, they're not getting farm on their supports whatsoever. So NP, I mean, they're starving just a little bit unless they get a tower here, unless they get a really productive fight.
And this is the problem, they lost their tier 1 so early that all of their heroes that normally would want to fight with things like Bloodlust, they can't even do that anymore, because it's difficult to defend or to farm into your jungle once your opponents take your tier 1. So.
Now, in draft we were talking about the potential for Invoker to really max his split push and go for the Necros. Is that something that's still on the table?
I don't know if they need to anymore. Look at the net worth. It's actually insane how far ahead Wings are. It was going so well the first 8 minutes. They got all the kills on the map. They maybe weren't getting max farm on the Faceless Void, but all of a sudden a couple kills and Wings is insanely ahead.
I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about how Weaver is one of those heroes that doesn't want to fight early. He needs his first 2 items before he's really going to be getting in there. But Shadow, he's already 3-0-1. He's already top of the net worth chart, and we're only 14 minutes in. If this game goes another 15 minutes, I really worry for NP.
Yeah, NP's getting completely outmaneuvered right now. Basically, all of the focus of their heroes is not being ineffective. Or it's not being effective, excuse me. And the fast defusal here from Weaver as well. Time dilation's not going to be a problem. And he's going to double hit Geminate with Mana Drain. It's going to do 25 Mana Drain per hit, which is equivalent to about 75 physical damage. So that's just the mana burn alone.
Burn through DOTA. I mean,
yeah, it's massively effective.
Do you think the Coddle is now worth it with this Mana Drain strat coming in, or are you still skeptical?
It's not even about the Mana Drain anymore. He's just counter pushing.
Yeah.
They got enough of an advantage with those couple ganks. Then now they just send him to a lane and they blast it, and NPs, they just can't hit anything anymore. They're actually lacking tower hitters, surprisingly.
Look at this Ancient stack. That is going to be nice and juicy for Wings, just really skyrocketing them ahead. If Blink's able to clean all this up in one go, that's his next big item there. He's already sitting on 1,400 gold on top of his Midas. What do you want him to go for here?
Yeah, the drum pickup's a little unusual, but it does give them better early mid-game fighting. I think Ags, probably. Maybe a Blink Dagger would be great, too. He can dodge Chronospheres, he can possibly position for perfect initiations. A Force Staff would also be really good, I think. Get away from things like Medusa ulti.
Speaking of Medusa, we've got Witch Doctor kind of crawling around in the vicinity, scouting this out. There is going to be a charge onto Eternal Envy, but with the rest of NP there, I'm not quite sure how deep Wings are going to commit to this, whether they're just forcing back the rotation from NP, but it is important to note that NP have been sticking pretty much as 5 for the last, 7-8 minutes, and they're really starting to lack in terms of experience. They're not getting any farm on their supports. Their cores are really having a tough time here. It seems like NP are just kind of losing momentum. What gets them back into this?
Teamfights are the best thing by far, and that's why they're grouping up so much. They've got Warlock ulti, they haven't been able to use it yet. They've got Chronosphere. It's 16 minutes in, they haven't been able to use this. MSS hasn't been in one single fight. There's been 13 dead heroes, but he hasn't been able to be there for engagements. Things like that completely change the game. Plus, if you just look at the map, you could basically cut off the 3 right camps of the Radiant jungle, and those don't exist as far as NP is concerned. So Wings should be getting more farm across the map regardless.
No, they're definitely doing well here now. What's the game going to be like for Weaver not going for the Lincolns? Because of course the the Diffusal is going to be fantastic, but that means he doesn't have the Lincolns for the next couple of fights.
I mean, he may still have it by the time the next fight happens.
That is true. His timings aren't going to be too off.
I think Lincoln's is still a really great item pickup. I actually wonder if something like a Heart might even be better this game, just because the damage of MP is so bad. Like, the net worth of Venge right now is 5,000 gold. The Weaver has 8k. He can just dedicate a whole item to guaranteeing that Venge can't kill him before he time lapses, and then he just wins the game anyways. That may be the better choice, honestly.
TP out from AUI, but Wings, they can just go ahead and apply split push here, right? You see NP still sticking all together, trying to group up, trying to find that safety in numbers, but if they're not getting aggressive, if they're not picking any gold or blood for themselves, they're just going to start to slowly drop off as Wings are securing themselves a pretty decent map advantage. And now picking out the Roche pit, it looks like they're looking to get an Aegis as well.
It's just such a bad place for NP to be in, basically. They don't really want to go for single ganks because then Wings gets Roshan, and that allows them to take tons of towers and beat a teamfight advantage. And even then, I don't think Wings is going to be susceptible to that kind of thing. They're not getting their heroes caught solo. NP just show up to a lane, they push it a couple waves, and then they leave again because they're worried about getting ganked by Spirit Breaker. It's the big advantage that SB gives you.
We see Void still up here, still farming, not with his team, really looking to get that Chronosphere off, but it's, you look at his net worth right now, he is below the Coddle that we spent so much time ripping into earlier.
Like I said, he just went top, he got one wave, and then he's backing up to go to the jungle. Because he knows that if SB shows up, and any other damaging hero is there, basically either Witch Doctor, Invoker, or Weaver, he dies. Because he's going to get stunned for like 4 to 5 seconds from the SB charge and OP.
Alright, Shadow is looking really scary right now. He's got basically 3 lives if he's able to get off a time lapse, and he's just really, really hard to lock down right now. NP supports are really too poor to be carrying around heaps of dust, heaps of sentries, so Wings can really just set up for a nice fight. We saw the combination of the Witch Doctor ulti, combine that with Spirit Breaker just bopping around. Invoker now contributing more to these team fights as he picks up more items, has the boost that travels. So it looks like Wings are definitely doing good. I don't want to count NP out, because of course one 4 or 5 man chrono could be absolutely game changing, but the window's getting smaller.
Especially because their other support as well as an Ogre Magi. I just don't know if that's going to be effective enough.
Yeah, I mean, his job right now is just keep the Bloodlust up. There's really not much else he can contribute.
He'll throw an Ignite on somebody in a team fight and be like, wow, that does something.
Hey, they're dealing with that. Especially if Weaver ends up going Heart, like you mentioned, that is going to not even tickle.
Yeah, he could buy Lincolns, but I just don't know if... I feel like that's a little scary for him. I feel like if MP gets a good Medusa ulti off, and all of the heroes right-click him, he actually could still go down. But with Heart, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he also still has the Aegis for like 4 minutes, so he's feeling definitely secure right now. Do you want to see Wings push their advantage a little more, or are they playing appropriately safe?
Got a bash? Okay.
Nope. Faith Beyond shows mercy.
Very close. I'm sorry, what was the question about pushing, I believe?
Yeah, are Wings just kind of playing this too passively? Do you want them to get in there and keep ripping NP up?
No, they're fine. They're basically making things static. They're occasionally scaring NP back. Like, even the Spirit Breaker, for example, moving to where Dusa is, he knows that he's not going to kill Dusa. He's just trying to interrupt the TP. Because if he does that, then everybody on Wings can start showing up. Like, if Coddle could TP to the tier 1, recall somebody. Invoker can TP to the BO with his BOTs. That's all they want to do. And just by him going there, it made them think that maybe Wings had 1 to 4 heroes in that area. And that you just want to put enough pressure on, that way NP continues to farm scared. And then you see these kinds of farm disparities. That's what's so good about what Wings is doing once they got the advantage.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen NP feel so scared in a match. And you've got Shadow, who feels entirely safe, walking up to the Radiant High Ground pretty much alone, taking their Ancients and just scramming right out of there. He brought in like 1 support to kind of babysit him, but they have really good vision. You look at what Dire is seeing right now, and it is definitely enough to keep the pressure going.
Yeah, honestly, this is, if you guys have no idea why NP is so underfarmed, it's not because they're bad. I promise, if you go back and watch this replay, from their perspective, they're going to see no heroes on the map.
Oh, we're going for a fight here.
Is that a fight?
Does
that count?
That's not even a fight. That's just a gut punch right there. EE just gets dropped.
That was a Deuce that looked like she didn't have her ultimate.
Look at 1437. Ogre's one of the tankiest heroes in the game. He's got a Warlock heal on him, and he's still getting chewed down. Look at that. He can't do anything. The cold snap from Invoker preventing him from even walking away to his teammates to say a last goodbye.
Just the absolute map control and vision control of Wings is incredible, really. I guarantee they barely ever showed on the lanes. If they did in ways that made it seem plausible that there could be a whole team behind them. And if you can really abuse your opponent's mentality.
MSS, he's going in. He realizes he's not safe. He just makes a U-turn and goes right back down to the low ground as Wings. They're going in. They're just collecting these tier 2s like they're just so easy to get down.
They're so far ahead right now. It's this amazing net worth coming out of them.
Yeah, that is soon to be about a 14,000 net worth advantage for Wings. NP are really feeling the pressure. Is their lineup something that can have a really great high ground defense?
Yeah, I mean, they got Snake. Snake's pretty good.
Snake's good. We have yet to see a Chrono, though. 22 minutes in, I'm feeling a little bit hesitant that MSS is going to bring it home.
That's usually a really bad sign, yeah. Chrono is usually the reason that people pick Void, but
I think it's nice. He's
mean,
got a Vlad's, you know?
They've got DOTA ulti, they've got Warlock ulti, they've got Swap, they have Chronosphere. The only hero that doesn't have good teamfight is Ogre, but Bloodlust makes those other heroes good. It looks so good on paper, but this is all movement around the map that Wings has been abusing.
They're trying to move here. They got Deuce leading the charge of the smoke. There is going to be a smoke break as Faith Beyond invised up, so now you got
Shadow Blade.
Oh, Swap coming in. They're trying to go. The Coddle, though, pops into the Glimmer Cape. They're looking for the kill on the Shadow. Chrono does connect onto two. They're doing a decent amount of damage, but on the back line, the Invoker is starting to drop everything here. The Chaotic Offering
really
coming in.
Bond.
That's going to be a very, very good Warlock participation. They are able to get the Aegis off of the Weaver. Eternal Envy, though, he's getting really, really low. Faith Beyond goes in for the charge, wants to get something done with his last breath, but the stun. They are able to get the Spirit Breaker down. They do lose the DOTA, and there's going to be a stun coming back in. Is Shadow going to bring enough damage to get down AUI? Or should Wings just back out and cut their losses?
3 kills there is amazing for considering what place they were in a moment ago.
Yeah, I mean, MSS, he made us wait for it, but that Chrono was pretty phenomenal, and the Warlock was really what sealed the deal there.
Yeah, Fatal Bonds just really shows how good it is. I thought it was going to go bad for NP considering that AUI had to spend that much time just killing a single Coddle, but picking him off did help a lot. If Blinding Light was in that fight, I feel like they don't actually get all those kills.
Shadow still scurrying around AUI, looking for something, but not able to pop up into his jungle and get that done. But definitely NP showing some signs of life. They're not just going to roll over.
Yeah, they're not, but it's still looking worse and worse with time. Their net worths are still not even close. The Warlock Golem is on cooldown for 100 seconds. Maybe another thing that NP was worried about. And once they use those, then Wings can actually abuse in any way that they want.
No, there's going to be a swap here, and it looks like little Horse Boy could be in some trouble. I have got vision of him. They're not too scared, and there we go. Nice little kill there for NP, but that's really the Coddle just being out of position.
Yeah. Ooh, MSS not watching his hero, and he's gonna die for it.
Oh, a little bit of sleep at the wheel, and that's gonna be a nice easy kill for the Invoker, who has been a little bit quiet in the last couple of minutes, but he's definitely still getting his items here.
Yeah.
And that's scary. That is gonna be a full Lincoln Spear up in just a couple of seconds.
It's one of the best things you can do as an Invoker is that even if you're not showing up to fights, you're always farming. That hero should never stop farming.
Especially with
never
Midas.
stop pushing lanes. Yeah, you just constantly Midasing, constantly attacking neutral creeps. He's one of the highest physical damage output heroes, and that's what gets him this many items. So he's playing the game very well. There's the Lincoln's finish for Weaver. It will stop swap, stun from Ogre, things like that. That could delay time lapse. It's not amazing versus Chronosphere, or maybe the DOTA ulti as well. We could argue for, but it's definitely a good item. And as he transitions, next item, I really think he needs to keep going on HP. Honestly, even something like an Axe this game, I think is still going to be completely amazing and justified because he can use time lapse on himself or the Invoker or somebody else too.
Yeah, definitely becoming that ambulance that it seems like Wings might be missing. They're still sitting on their Coddle, who's doing really well for himself. Coddle's kept himself very relevant in terms of net worth, sitting a decent amount above the Void, in fact, still.
Bad sign for Void.
Or a great sign for Coddle. Let's keep positive, Purge.
That's true. Went for a Glimmer Cape first. It did almost help him in the last engagement, but once he gets Axe, he can at least heal himself and others with a blast. At least during daytime, that'll be really nice for him.
Yeah, that Axe not too far off. He is more than halfway done, and we'll have that up probably by like the 35-minute mark.
It's looking good. I love the Arcane Rune on Weaver. Can be really useful.
I mean, you can just basically constantly Scoochie.
And it lowers your Lincoln's cooldown, I think. Pretty sure. That part will be good.
Alright, so Wings, they're definitely taking their time here, really picking their next engage smart. They want to wait for Roshan, and I think that's going to be great. Do NP want to contest this next Rosh?
Absolutely. I don't know if you noticed by NP's movements yet, but they're definitely more on the map than they were before. They're still sitting in 5-man things. They bought the gem. This is exactly why. Because they know this is the time to get control of their jungle. A lot of this game will come down to the next fight. If the gem goes over to Wings' side, then NP's going to have to go back to playing like they were a moment ago.
Smoke coming in, Wings looking to get aggressive. They know that NP are feeling a little confident, a little bold after that last fight, and they want to punish them for this. So, little 4G coming up. Going to be getting things going. Medusa goes in, is able to at least force back Wings for now, giving NP a better chance to set up before it gets real. Illuminate comes in, Shadow just tossing out a couple of damage.
His meta's low.
Oh yeah, they're going back in. There's going to be a stun up on the Coddle. Sunstrike coming in, MSS able to get all that health back though. Shadow starting to lay into AUI, but there's going to be a Warlock Golem to stop him down, and looks like AUI will get the kill onto the Coddle. And it looks like NP are looking to clean up elsewhere on the map. Snakes going back in, Envy able to TP home. Meanwhile, they are still feeling the wrath of what's going to be going down. Shadow trying to lay in the bugs. 1437 may not be so lucky. Will end up going down, and now the Warlock is unfortunately going to eat the rest of the damage there. So NP, it looked like they had a really smart fight set up, but Wings just bringing in more raw damage and kind of out-rotating.
It kind of looked like NP could have won that fight, but as soon as Envy committed his TP, then his allies were just kind of left out in the dark. If they could have walked back to base, it would have been fine, but they were just kind of in no man's land.
Witch Doctor with the Midas. What do you think about that?
They're winning the map. They're winning the farm war. It's just a straightforward pickup. He actually, you know, you called it. He maxed out his heal.
Yay!
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much flexibility on Witch Doctor. You can really read the game and adjust on the fly. It's not one of those you're committed if you start for it.
Yeah, the game really wasn't that much about fighting for the first 20 minutes or so. It was really about tracking where your opponents are on the map and moving to have an advantage against that.
Keeper the Light hopping into that Glimmer Cape. They're gonna give up the chase for now. It's really not worth it for NP to get too crazy, especially with Wings having such a global presence with the charge. Now the Invoker boots the travels and the Sunstrikes.
And they push the lane out, and again they have the back. Wings getting more value out of every little fight. The Fatal Bonds in the last fight, by the way, did break the Lincolns. It was cast on the Weaver, so that's a huge spell to block.
Oh, he's been really nice with these time walks now. He's playing good defensively. We have yet to see a second Chronosphere coming in.
I'm surprised he didn't commit his ultimate to that one, actually. It's like he attacked from Invis or something like that. It's very close to getting a kill. Yep, just an attempt at split push here. Ogre's doing his best. Probably wishes he was a Kunko right now, but...
Yeah, I mean, he was picked up to be that lane bully just to lay in the bloodlust for the rest of his teammates, but it feels like his window of ultra relevance might be closing. Meanwhile, Wings picking up a second Aegis for themselves. It's going to be unscattered out, completely uncontested. We have got a very deep Medusa here. EE. Sir.
Is he looking for Curse Knights? Channeling Pylite Eye from Cloud9 right now?
Oh, we got a little bear. Hellbear. Get in there. Nope. Just going to be cleaning up the neutral.
Yeah, I think he was really just waiting for the courier, just checking to see if it happened to be there. I don't think he wanted to cut creeps. I don't think he did. Yeah, he did not. Didn't want to cut creeps. I just genuinely thought he was going to find a courier there. He was close by. He was at the shop already.
Could be in trouble here. He's got a TP. Gonna be chasing down this Invoker. He's gonna go ahead and Alacrity himself just to take out the wave quickly. Alright, ulti from Medusa goes for the TP out and we'll be able to escape, but that was a play.
Was close. The tornado was really the only way that gets solved then. Both of them not expecting. He was just absolutely sure that was a smoke play. This is not the first time I've seen NB farm the enemy jungle. He's been talking about that for years, actually. I feel like I'm losing the game so bad, I'm going to farm their jungle because they won't expect me there. He's just so sick of being behind him farm. Now he doesn't have his ultimate, but in reality, was Wings going to force the fight in the next 90 seconds? Maybe, but probably not.
I mean, I think Wings are content farming up pretty much indefinitely. A late game Medusa can get real scary, but so can a Weaver and Invoker showing no signs of slowing down, and you can still stack up the Spirit Breaker to be a big old tank.
Yeah, I agree. I think those heroes will get capped out much earlier than they do so well. But NP still has team fight advantages, and they've still got Fatal Bonds, a massive amp of damage.
Alright, those horses, they're going. And looks like NP just splitting up, getting some more farm now. Vengeful Spirit picks up the Hurricane Pike. She's also got the Helm of the Dom, so her damage is really increasing. Her attack speed, getting up, getting nice and juicy. Is that enough to make Venge a worthwhile carry pick right now?
Nope. It's not going to be enough. Look at her farm level.
She's fine.
About 11,000. Her damage is good. She's hitting for 130 plus 76, but I feel like that's what Weaver's doing. And Weaver has better teamfight skills. That's the difference, I think.
They're charging in deep onto MSS here. Again, he does have that time walk, but they keep him locked down. They just chunk him. That was a 3-shotter. And that's really showing off the global presence of Wings right now.
He just looks squishy.
Yeah, I mean...
But that's a max level Exhort Sunstrike with an X. It's just all pure damage. Half of MSS's HP there was just taken from Sunstrike. It's incredible.
I mean, there's no reason that can't happen
not
over
an
and
Invoker
over
player.
again.
There you go. He figured it out.
Thank you, Pam.
537 pure damage. It's really good. I believe MSS is just
mid lane.
over 1K.
We could be seeing a scuffle in the making. Vengeful Spirit doing what she can, throwing out the wave of terrors, but Wings, they can just chip this away.
They got Snake, though.
Again, Shadow still has that Aegis. Oh, the Snake, man! Look at it go!
Work that Lincoln's.
Yeah, too bad it's up
Push
in 8
is
more
done.
seconds.
My god, Shadow is attacking really fast right now.
Yep, look at him go. And there's going to be a tornado coming in. Catches out on Medusa, the EMP as well, burning up most of Envy's mana, so we really can't go in and contest this tower. Wave of Terror doing some damage, but again, Weaver still got the ult, still got the Aegis. Shadow should be playing pretty fearless right now.
It's so dangerous. He can just sit all the way up there, continue to hit the tower. If he gets swapped, he just presses time lapse eventually. If he gets swapped into Chrono and they kill him, he's still got Aegis and his team will back him up. It's just the terrible position for NP to be in. If there wasn't an Aegis, they would absolutely take this fight.
All right, let's see if MSS is going to be going for the sneaky chrono plays. There is going to be a dire sentry ward, so he's not really fooling anyone. In fact, there is going to be a smoke out face beyond in a very unfortunate position. There's going to be the golem drop by the warlock. Is this enough damage? Okay, Faceless Boy gets off the chrono, but he's dead. So it looks like the golem going to be doing the heavy lifting here. They are going to be able to get the Witch Doctor down. EE running back to base is still going to get charged up, though. No mana left. That mana shield not going to be helping out. There is going to be a nice little golem dropped in. They are going to get the kill on the Spear Breaker. Again, a beautiful Fatal Bonds, but they lose the Warlock now. It looks like it's going to be losing 1437. Again, Weaver not really scared here. Has an Aegis, so just can sit back and start to siege the racks. NP Bench, the only one up. The buybacks are few and far between, and at 32 minutes in, it's just something that NP really can't afford right now without falling dramatically behind.
They all have Lincoln Spheres now too, so any swap advantage that they were trying to entertain is just more difficult to land. MSS got focused at the start, the Sentries had clear vision of them the whole time. They were absolutely prepped for that kind of an item build there. And that's really what separates a very, very good team from a TI level team. Just the presence of the mind. I haven't seen a new item in a while. He may have Blink Dagger, he may have Shadow Blade, but if he does have SP, we're gonna be ready for it, and that's what happened.
And in they're going, and Wings looking to just completely mega them right now, and there's no reason why they can't. These towers taking so much damage. Shadow gonna get that Lincoln's broken. AUI maybe thinking about getting something done. Pops into the Hurricane Pike, but meanwhile the Tornado connecting onto MSS. He does not want to go down here. He's just been perma-dead for the last minute. Now Warlock channeling up some flows, but gonna give up the chase. Now Weaver could be in a little bit of trouble. We'll see, he's gonna get off that time lapse, and oh gosh, that Warlock just got owned by the Illuminate.
If they just had a Chronosphere there, it would have been straightforward, but Dusa should fall from this as well. Or not.
No, she's alright. She'll be able to get back to base, but definitely done with her defensive part of this game, and 1437 getting low as well. A couple more slaps from the Invoker might be able to do it, but actually it looks like Blink could be in some trouble here. He's got MSS trying to be scary, but doesn't have a Chrono, and Wings clearly know this. They're going to focus him down, and they will get that kill as well. He's dead for 52, has the buyback, but at this point, is it worth it? What does he offer?
Oh my god.
Alright, Spirit Breaker, please calm down. You've already shown that you're winning.
He's actually so farmed, and it reduces the attack speed. It offsets all of what Bloodlust provides. The nukes continue, and that's all the only they have left.
Alright, nice little chrono there, but the rest of the Dire, they're just waiting this one out, and they're going to focus down MSS after this. Godlike now for the Weaver, as he's just going in, raking up the kills, keeping Warlock dead. And they're now looking to focus onto that Dusa. Dusa dies without buyback, and this may be it. The GG called out by Eternal Envy. That's going to be game number 1, and the Bucks' Wings looking very strong in this series.
It's just an amazingly played game by Wings. After that many deaths in the laning stage uncontested, the fact that they turned that around and were able to just stomp the map basically, once they just got a couple crucial kills, it all came down to Spearbreaker just moving a little bit, setting up the right ganks and projecting them into this mid